And we're back, everybody. My name is Bro Ryu for Shinjuku Station Podcasting, at Shin Station on Twitter, and you can follow me on Twitter at Bro Ryu. We're continuing our top 20 countdown of the top 20 1980s cartoons featuring anime opening sequence. Of course, anime in quotation marks, because reasons. If you watched the first part, I went through my whole spiel on that. But part 2 will cover numbers 15 through 11 of the countdown. But as I have been doing since the beginning, we're going to go over some of my honorable mentions. This time there'll be 2 of them. Let's go ahead and see what's popping for these. These two are not, these two are more action oriented, starting with... Oh, Symbion. Now, I pretty much grabbed these openings. I grabbed this opening because it is so nightmare inducing. Like, you'll see this, like, this is just the beginning, but this opening, I guess, was animated by Tokyo Movie Shinsha, at least in part. So I don't know exactly how much of it was, but you can tell in some parts it was. It's kind of a clip show, though, in some areas, I gotta admit. Although I can't 100% say that, it just kind of looks like some of the animation is standard fare production quality, as opposed to this right here in the beginning, which is not. Yo, damn. Yo, that I gotta run that back. That is some wild stuff. Jesus. But I picked this one. This actually was originally my number 20, but then I kind of went over it, and I just wasn't happy with kind of the overall quality and animation. But this was kind of an obscure series that came on. It only lasted 5 episodes. It was a mini-series that I guess a lot of markets didn't care for. But the Sectar toys were yet again another stab at the He-Man market. Yo, the scopes? Oh, god damn. A Nightmare's Realm. Can you... Oh my god! Yo, that man grew a mustache out of, I don't know, horns? Yo, look at that shit. This just become irradiated in bug stuff. I'd be pissed if it turned into a part bug, man. Yeah. That guy's angry because he didn't turn out beautiful like the rest of these other motherfuckers. No kidding. The Dark Domain. Yeah, it's just a weird toy line. It didn't last very long, but I know a lot of you guys in 1984 probably saw these toys and just scoffed like I did. I saw this miniseries though, but it just came and left my memory, man. I didn't remember this until I saw an episode of Toy Hunter, and yeah, that was something else. But anyway, Cops is on deck next. Yo, BP Vest, man. In the future time, I couldn't stand the show. I hated the character designs, but the animation in this show was pretty dope. So this is a completely original opening sequence as opposed to a clip show or anything. Yo, just look at the details on Long Arm right there. Yo, scoping him. Yo, got your ass. Yo, Long Arm, getting in that booty, man. Yo, whoever the fuck that is. Dr. Mindbender? Dude's brains all exposed in the glass case. Yo, BP Vest. What does the BP stand for? Big Punk? Yo, got the robotic dog. Got the typical 80s lady. I got the roided out enemies. Look at these muscle bound freaks. Yo, we shooting lasers in the middle of the street, man. Fucking up the public property, man. Yo, Big Boss. Ridiculous. But you guys might have remembered this show in the late 80s. The actual animation for the toy commercials was better than the actual show. You got to watch those videos on YouTube, man. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, that's it, man. Those are my honorable mentions for this run. Mainly I picked those because people suggested those or brought those up when I was asking the chat what cartoons I should consider the openings for. That actually is a well-animated opening, I'll be honest with you. But it's... I wasn't crazy about the show, so that knocked it down a few pegs, and the character designs weren't all that great to me. I'm sure some big names probably worked on that show. I'm not sure if Bruce Timm of Batman the Animated Series and the Justice League and the Superman Animated Series fame worked on that, but a lot of cats got their start. A lot of cats that we came up knowing in the 90s got their start in the 80s working on toy shows like that. And boy, was Cops a toy show. So was Sectars. Although it only lasted 5 episodes, Cops ran a little bit longer than that, and it aired on syndication just like the Sectars miniseries did. But anyway, we're going to dive right back in And next up is number 15. You might have remembered seeing this on CBS back in the day. The series was animated by Tokyo Movie Shinsha, and it's one of the few shows on this list where TMS got to take full credit for the animation production. It aired on CBS, and for those that don't know, this series was actually conceptualized and created by Christopher Columbus, or Chris Columbus, who's known as the director of Home Alone and the first 2 Harry Potter movies, just to name a few movies that he's worked on. He's worked on quite a few movies, and he's very well known, but he actually helped to make this show. The theme song is composed by one of the members of the Eagles, a man by the name of Don Felder. It's a very catchy theme. I like it quite a bit. And without further ado, number 15.
Doyle was a high school star. Everybody thought he'd go real far, but he didn't get a thing from the classes he took. You know, he just wasn't interested in his books. Amy was the smartest girl at school. Not very popular, not very cool. 2 kids will be chosen from Earth to go to school at Galaxy High. Traveling millions of miles through space to go to school in a far-out place. Amy is the sweetheart. Doyle's got a lot to learn here at Galaxy High.
Galaxy High! Galaxy High! Oh my God. I love this show. It only ran, as I mentioned, for 13 episodes on CBS Saturday mornings. And I can't remember if it was, I think it was, you know what? Actually, I have to give a big shout out to something that Show and I actually produced back in 2013. We did something called Shin Saturdays. And basically, we did a cartoon lineup recreation that people could tune in and watch on live stream. We came together, and what we do is we try to reconstruct the Saturday morning lineup of yesteryear, and it also allowed people to kind of relive their childhoods by not only putting the shows in there, but we also put in commercials from the 80s and from that era into the Saturday morning lineup to buffer out the episodes between airings. And it actually worked out well. We made a playlist. We streamed it live, and people could watch pretty much a pretty faithful lineup across the networks from 8 in the morning where we started. But because since it wasn't just one network we were showing all the cartoons to, we actually combined all the cartoons from all the networks that we could get our hands on that aired on specific dates, and we ran them as one big cluster of episodes. So the runtimes for our sessions would be from 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to sometimes 6 in the evening. It ran pretty long most times. We did the season of 1984 to 1985. We did 1986 to 1987. We did crazy stuff, man. It was great. We even did, I believe, 1991. Which was kind of like, it was starting hard to find enough shows to like do a run because networks started to tap out. But one of our favorite times that we did this was for Galaxy High in 1986, when we did the 1986 to 1987 run of network cartoons for Saturday morning cartoons for that particular season, and just being reunited with the show again. For those that don't know, the show actually airs. Not airs, but it's actually available on Crunchyroll if you want to actually watch all 13 episodes. It's all on Crunchyroll, provided by TMS themselves. When you watch the episodes, you'll see the TMS logo come up and it says TMS Presents. It blew my mind because regularly TMS wouldn't be able to get forefront credit like that, but I guess they helped to produce the show, and it was a really well-written show. It reminds me a lot of a kind of a precursor to Futurama. Anyway, let's get to the actual intro right here. Yo, Doyle, we dunking on him. Yo, white man can't dunk. Boy, what's up, The song is the shit, by the way. Let me not ruin it. Look at this guy, man. Total specimen, man. The next Captain America. Chucking that disc. Yo, Amy hitting them books, and now the books are hitting her, man. Yo, that's fucked up. Yo, Amy's voice is provided by Susan Blue, man. Voice acting legend. She's directed so many voice casts in all sorts of animated productions throughout the late 80s, early 90s. I think she actually did the first couple seasons of Ninja Turtles as the actual vocal director. I could be wrong about that, but I remember seeing her name in the credits for that. Yo, Biff, Space Biff going in that ass. Hi, Galaxy. Hi, Galaxy. Now, it wasn't really. When you look at it, you have to look real hard to see that it was an anime. It was a production that was done by an anime studio, but they were trying to emulate what American animation was, and they got really good at it. TMS was definitely the industry leader of that, but you can definitely tell because of the way the animation flowed and a lot of the ways that just the way just the way the show looked for the most part. It screamed that it was produced by a Japanese animation company, and I thought it was one of the best looking shows of that season in 1986. I think I was 9 at the time, but even then I could tell it was definitely a show that should have been a hit. I think it was in a bad time slot. I think it came out at 9 or 9:30 in the morning, so it wasn't put in the best place. But that's a shame because I think the show could have gone a couple of seasons, but it only went for one. I think CBS kept it around to kind of run into like dead areas when it came to reruns of the show. They did that sometimes with Saturday morning cartoons. They would give them a second chance and let them run in the next season, even though the show was canceled, to see if they would pick up an audience and give a chance to run back a couple more episodes. I think they might have did that with this show. But as for its availability, again, it's on Crunchyroll. You can find it there, all 13 episodes. You can watch them back to back. And it's also on DVD and also available on DVD and digitally available on Amazon. So if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can probably stream the episodes with no problem. But yeah, that's Galaxy High, man. Funny show. I still think it holds up to this day. Save for like a few 80s things. I even think that a part of its 50s inspiration, but even though like the characters came from modern day, when they went to Galaxy High itself kind of had a 50s motif. I think that came from like the popularity of Back to the Future, because that was a popular movie at the time. So I'm guessing that a little bit of that came from that. But I think in the mid 80s, America kind of had a little bit of a affinity for a retro period of the 50s at the time. The 50s was somewhat popular in the 80s. Don't ask me why, it just happened. But anyway, we're going to move on to number 14. This selection actually aired in 1987 as part of a block of animation called the comic strip. Some of you guys actually know what I'm talking about. It was animated by Pacific Animation Corporation and is part of that Land, Sea, and Sky trilogy I talked about earlier. We already went over Sky, which was the Silverhawks, and of course Land is the Thundercats, which has yet to come up yet. It'll come up somewhere in here, I just won't say where. But Sea is what we're covering here, and this series was produced by Rankin Bass, of course. And other than that, let's get on with it. Number 14.
You got a tiger by the tail. Hold on, tiger sharks, tiger sharks. Look for a spaceship with a sail and hold on, tiger sharks, tiger sharks. Hold on, tiger sharks.
Hold on! Them Tiger Sharks, man, that's a short-ass opening. And there's a good reason why. The comic strip opening was like the main opening for the show. And the comic strip would air every weekday. From what I saw, it aired every weekday. For a short period in 1987. It was comprised of 4 shows. And those 4 shows, I couldn't tell you the other 3, but they were kind of kids' fare. Really silly kids' fare. They were interesting and they're fun to watch. But every time I checked out the comic strip, where I could only have checked it out in one place, and I'll come to that story in a second, but the comic strip, I came across it when I went on a trip to my grandmother's house in Memphis. But out of those 4 shows, Tiger Sharks was one of them, and it would air randomly throughout the week. When it aired, that was what you wanted to see. The show was so well animated, it was action-packed, and it was again a show akin to Tiger Sharks. I'm sorry, a show akin to Thundercats and Silverhawks. So it was like their their long lost cousin that you would manage to catch on occasion. There were 26 episodes of this show, aired, and each episode had pretty much aired in 2 parts. So I think it would air like one half of an episode one day and then one half of an episode the next day. So you had to tune in at least twice a week to see it. I think they knew it was going to be the main draw to the comic strip, but basically the whole concept of that show is that it was supposed to be emulating the different kind of flavors you would get from reading a comic strip. There would be sometimes serious comics in there, and there would be sometimes silly comics like Garfield and Heathcliff in there. So they wanted to have a bit of all that stuff. And again, this series was animated by Pacific Animation Corporation. It's beautifully animated. Let's check out this intro real quick. It's so short, it's ridiculous. I might run through it twice. The theme song's catchy as hell too. I'm guessing that's the fill-in. Hold on, yeah! Look at that guy, man, going in! Yo, dolphin guy. Yo, I don't even know what that guy is. Yo, octopus lady, yo. Yo, somehow I'm being turned on, man. I don't understand that. I'm confused. Yo, the tiger sharks. Yo, man, encore, let's go. Yeah, man, this intro is pretty fast. Yeah, just look at the water effects, man. You can see from the videotape that it's bleeding a little bit, the colors. But it's pretty cool, man. I wish that, I wish it was like just a channel or network like dedicated to showing this old stuff. Not even that, just put it on Netflix. Why not? Pretty slick. You can even tell by the way the logo is written that it was definitely somewhat related to those other shows. I don't know if there was a toy line for those. Honestly, that's the only one I don't know if there was a toy line. I know for definitely for Thundercats there was, and for Silverhawks there was. But if Tiger Sharks caught on, I guess they were probably going to make toys about that. Maybe they did, and they just didn't sell. And if they didn't sell that well, they must be worth a lot then. If they only made a small quantity. So yeah, Tiger Sharks, dude. Can you find it legitimately? Hell no. It's the only one of the 3 shows you can't. It's not on DVD. It's not on streaming. It's nowhere to be found but on YouTube and the methods. So I don't give a full endorsement of that. But if you really want to check the show out, you know where to go to check it out. And let me know what you think of it. I caught a few episodes just recently. As for my story, we used to go to Memphis to visit my grandmother because my dad's side of the family lived there, and the only time I ever saw the comic strip was the 2 times we visited my grandmother in 1985. What was always cool is when you traveled from, because I lived in Key West at the time, as I mentioned earlier with another one of the episodes. Matter of fact, I mentioned it earlier with the Silverhawks. We'd visit my grandmother, and in 1987 when we visited her, this show was on as a part of the comic strip. So every day that the show came on, I would make sure to catch it. And sometimes in the comic strip, I'd be disappointed that it would be something else. But eventually I did catch the Tiger Sharks, and I had no idea what I was watching. I saw that, and it's like, holy shit, what is this show? There was no internet back then. You had to, you had to look through other ways, and at the time I had no information but besides the fact that I was just witnessing another one of these Rankin Bass productions that was just off the beaten path. It was cool to see, man. I only got to see 1 episode at the time because within 1 week they only showed 1 episode of Tiger Sharks that was split into 2 parts. So I always remember it vividly because that was a really good visit to my grandmother's house. And after going to see her, we went back to Memphis later on that year, I think for Christmas or something, and we managed to catch yet again another run of the comic strip. So I saw another episode of Tiger Sharks somewhere in the bunch, and I saw 2 episodes in my life aside from what's on YouTube. But yeah, I came across it. I always thought the intro was amazing. Even back as a kid, it's like, this looks so damn good. God dang, I hope we get it back in Key West. Never happened. We never got the comic strip because that aired on another syndication station. So I have to hold that L. I have to hold it close to the chest. That's on me, guys. That's on me. The pain in my life, the struggles, the first world problems. I know, I'm fucking lame. Anyway, that is it for 14, man. We're going to move on to number 13. This series aired in 1983, so it was one of the older series in this whole bunch. Also produced in part by Tokyo Movie Shinsha. I believe they worked on this opening. The cool thing about this intro is it's very well directed. It definitely gives you a sense. Well, I'll get into that when we move forward. But here you go. number 13. Enjoy.
I have a very special secret. I'm the only one who knows about tiny people living in our walls called the Littles.
Those littles don't stop, man. You can't stop them. They don't stop. They won't stop. Those little bastards. I'm just kidding. That's a pretty cool show, actually. I remember seeing that way back in my childhood, man. I guess I was in 1983. I was 6. Jeez, man. I was barely through elementary school. That's crazy. But yeah, this series aired on ABC. Again, Tokyo Movie Shinsho worked on that. The cool thing about the opening is that it definitely gave you a sense of scale. I don't know why the main human character looked like a little, as opposed to the littles themselves, because he had pointy ears. He kind of had the features of one, which I just found strange. I think it was just it was a weird commonality with the character designer, design of the characters. But I love the fact that the camera almost never stops moving throughout that whole intro. Let's check it out, man. I talk too much. Let's go. Let's get it popping.
I have a very special secret.
Yo, Billy.
I'm the only one who knows about
Look at his pointy ears
living in our walls called
and his nose
the Littles.
and his way his hairstyle is. It looks like just a human version of a little. It's crazy. Yo, Grandpa, man. Yo, Dinky, don't fuck up. Dinky, don't do it. Yo, look at this guy acting a fool. Yo, you just almost broke Grandpa's clavicle, man. Good thing he's covered in fat like myself. Yo, Grandpa, beat his ass. Beat his ass, Grandpa. Dude, look at the camera. Don't stop. Yo. Oh, yo, it stopped a little bit right there. But the fact that they just keep the camera flowing, man, for the most part. I love that sense of scale this gives you. Yo, they have a little turtle. That turtle must be small as hell. Pretty impressive, man. That's a pretty cool opening. I know a lot of you guys probably have seen that show. It is actually available on DVD, and you can stream it digitally on Amazon or purchase it off of iTunes. So it's pretty well available. I think I saw it on Hulu a while ago. It's not available right now, and if it's ever been available on Netflix, I do not know. That series is based off books by John Peterson, and you probably some of you guys probably read those books to your kids, or your kids probably read those books. I do think it's a good show to show your kids, and I think it's kind of timeless. There's some 80s things in the show, some things that are definitely a hallmark from the 80s, but for the most part, I think the show holds up today for kids, and you can definitely show it to your children, and they'll have a good time watching it. Matter of fact, a lot of these shows you can share with your kids and let them know where you're coming from and how you were informed by media as a young child going into adult. They might actually appreciate the shows. I honestly don't know. But if I had kids, I would definitely show them the Littles. I would put that on, and hopefully they would dig it, and I would be able to share a little bit of a share experience with my kid that I myself had when I was younger. But you know, it's funny. It makes me wonder, out of these shows that I'm showing the interest for, which ones will come back in some way, shape, or form. I showed the DuckTales opening earlier as part of a part of one of the honorable mentions, and I neglected to mention that show is actually coming back in 2017, 30 years after it originally aired in 1987. Now, when I say coming back, they're making a whole new rendition of DuckTales. I don't know if it's going to be a reboot or some kind of continuation. I don't think it really matters, but they're making a DuckTales series that parents of today can share with their kids, just as they saw it as kids in the late 80s. That blows my mind. I think that's really dope. And I'm looking forward to seeing it myself. I'm a grown-ass man, and I'm saying I want to watch some DuckTales. So anyway, the Littles, man, if you can hunt it down, man, check it out, show it to your kids, or just watch it on your own to relive those magic memories of the early 80s, man. Anyway, we're going to move on to number 12. And number 12 is an obscure damn show. Oh, I should have mentioned that the Littles ran for 29 episodes. Sorry about that. It ran for 29 eps over 3 seasons, which the episodes were weirdly sprinkled over 3 seasons on ABC. But yeah, it had a short run for being on for 3 years. I don't know exactly what the story was behind that, but anyway, if the show has a short run, a short episode length, that's the reason why. But on to number 12. Number 12 aired in 1987, and it was animated by Tokyo Movie Shinsha as well. Jesus, man, this is becoming a regular trend. It's an obscure show. You may have never saw this. You may have seen the toys, but you probably never knew the show existed. You would have to like just be up at the weirdest time to catch it on syndication or manage to see when it reran on USA years later. But here you go, number 12.
All Star Max and Star Wolf. Scramble!
Bet you didn't expect to see that one. Yo, Starcom. Actually, the toys were pretty neat, man. They kind of reminded me of Mask in a way, because I think the figures were about the same size as the Mask figures. I remember the gimmick for those is that they had magnetic pads on the vehicles, and the characters had magnetic shoes, or like metal at the bottom of their shoes, or something that would attract to magnets. Metal, I'm assuming, that you could get the figurines to stick to the planes as you like turn them upside down and do stunts with them. And I guess that was to emulate magnet boots that the astronauts would wear in the show. The show was made in part, it looks like, from made in part with the Young Astronauts Association during that time. And I kind of miss shows that actually inspire people to want to go into space and to work towards having something to do with the whole study of outer space. NASA is quite underfunded, man, and I think it's something that's integral to our survival as a species. So it kind of sucks that there's no emphasis on traveling to space anymore in our fiction, unless it's like so far out there that, you know, there's really no connection to reality. Starcom, although it's kind of fantastic too, at least it's part of its intention, not only to sell toys, was to encourage kids to want to be astronauts or to be a part of the space program in some way, shape, or form. And I appreciate that endeavor. It's not the best show ever made, but damn does it look good, man. Let's check out this intro real quick. Holy God. Woo! Look at this nose hairs in this dude's nose. Yo, Jesus, we're seeing up his nostril, baby. Yo, cheap-ass Lauren Green. Yo, look at this guy excited to go to war, man. Keeping America's space safe. Yo, Scoopin' Brothers. I thought brothers would be rare in these future times. Oh, hell yeah, man. That brother's happy just to be on a cartoon that looks so fucking good. Yo, this cat is going to have to get crushed by G-forces. God, look at the shading, man. God, incredible work, man. You should see the ending credits for the show. It looks amazing. You think this opening looks good? Yo, enter generic 80s villain. Yo, we're looking like Mig the Merciless, man. With the Cylon troops. Yo, where's Flash Gordon at? Beautiful. I love these openings, man. They get me hype. This used to come on reruns on USA, and every time it did, I would have to go to church, so I'd have to miss the show. So many damn times. I was so salty, man. Oh, pissed me off, man. You know, forget salvation. I want to stay home and watch some Starcom, man. I'd have to fake being sick sometimes to not have to go to church, man. It was great. But yeah, that's Starcom, man. It was made in 1987, produced by Tokyo Movie Shinsha, and it did release on DVD, and it is very cheap. Apparently, I don't know. I think it's select episodes, not all the episodes, but it ran for 13 eps. I guess it's a short engagement series. I guess they just did it to sell toys and GTFO. So sadly, there's not too many episodes. I can't say it's the best written show, but it had really good intentions, I've got to say. It's when I looked on Amazon, the DVDs were selling for $6 at the time, and it's under the Retro TV Tunes label. So get your hands on it, man. They're still available, although I'm guessing they're out of print. It probably was a short run anyway. But yeah, Starcom, the U.S. Space Force, man. Interesting show, man. If you like to just collect oddities when it comes to series like this on DVD, especially if they come from the 80s and based on toy lines that no longer exist, check it out. Even check out the commercials for these toys online. That's one of the things I've been meaning to tell you guys. If you see one of these intros and you want to know what the toys look like or whatnot, go to YouTube, search for the commercials on these toys. I'm sure you're bound to find them. And thanks again for humoring me, at least. Anyway, our final selection for this part is a little known show. Came out in 1985. Well, you know what? I'll just leave the rest for after we see the intro. Here goes nothing. Oh yeah, man. That's like Hacksaw Jim Duggan wrote the slogan for Lionel when he takes up the Sword of Omens, man. Yo, only two people yell "ho" like that. Well, maybe some hip hop and maybe some R&B groups in the 90s, but and Michael Jackson. But Lionel and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, man. That word is only saved for just a few. But Thundercats, man, I lied when I said little known series. You guys all know this. It ran for 130 episodes, which is pretty big. But it was a bona fide hit, so it had a couple seasons on syndication. Pretty amazing. What's also more amazing is after this series aired, there was no sign of it for years on syndication from where I lived. Because I moved out of Key West, where it actually aired where I lived in Key West. But when I moved from Key West to up the northern seaboard to Norfolk, Virginia in the early 90s, I was looking for the show to repeat on syndication, and it never did. I didn't even see it on USA or any smaller networks. It may have aired on basic cable at a place near you, or if you live in another country, you might have saw it rerun all throughout the early 90s. I never did until it aired on Toonami in the late 90s. When the Toonami block started up, this was one of the first shows to be in the block, because I guess everybody involved with the block grew up with shows like this, so they wanted Thundercats on there with the quickness, and they got it. Let's check out this intro real quick, man. Let's watch this beautifully rendered intro from Pacific Animation Corporation. This is the third in a series of a series from Rankin Bass out of the Land, Sea, and Air trilogy. And of course, this is the Land. Thundercats, ho yeah! Now, there was a remake for this show on Toonami in the early 2000s, actually originally produced for Toonami, and it was actually pretty good. I only saw a few episodes, but I dug what I saw. and they actually got some of the talent from the previous series to work on it. One of those talented people was as an actor named Jim Meskimen. When he started early in his career, he actually wasn't a voice actor. He was an artist, a graphical artist for LJN or for the production of this TV show. I'm not sure specifically, but he created and designed some of the weapons and vehicles for the series. In the 2011 reboot series, though, he returned to Thundercats as a voice actor because he's a comedian and a known voice actor, and he does great work. Check out what he did for the Boondocks. It's hilarious. But he voiced several characters on the show, including Ponzi and a Burn, I believe that's that character's name. But, yo, the intro's gorgeous. I may have to watch this twice, man. I've been talking throughout the whole intro. Let me let this run back. Yo, so good. How is the intro this good? My number 11. I know it's crazy, right? But it's so awesome. You just have to look at the finishing touches they put on this, man. Thunder, thunder, thunder. Oh, it's so amazing. Just the effects when it came to like just the lighting. That montage right there is so cool. Except for Snarp, he ruins it. Yo, Tigra, man, with them bolos, man. Put it in them balls. Yo, we got Panthro, man, versed by Earl Hyman, from also known as Bill Cosby's Pops on The Cosby Show. Chitara, man, look at that grace. Yo, she's been in the boat staff. Yo, Kit and Kat, these mischief makers, whipping up the forest, man. Poison Ivy would be upset with these kids. And of course, dumbass Narf. And Lionel's Jedi ghost of old senpai. Yo, Mumra, man. He's undead and he's angry. Look at the fluid animation. Of course, Mumra got a flex on him. Thundercats. So good. So damn good. Yo, that's a Thundercats opening for y'all, for those that missed it. But pretty neat that Meskimen came back to provide voices in that after he actually designed some of the machinery and the weapons in the show. And also, I got to give a big shout out to I believe Larry Kinney, who is the voice of Lino. I might have his first name wrong, but Mr. Kinney did the voice of Lino in the show, and he came back for the reboot series to voice Lino's father. I wish I had the wiki up right now. I should have pulled that up. But if anything, Thundercats is a hallmark in the series, in the pantheon of 80s animation. A lot of the episodes were animated by Pacific Animation Corporation, if not all of them, and the show looked really good. Even some of the standard episodes stood out. I know that with Pacific Animation Corporation, I know that other animation studios in Japan did work with them. And I always heard like that Sunrise had a hand in the production of Thundercats. So I don't know if that's 100% true, but it does have that look that Sunrise had for their shows at the time. So it makes me wonder, at least. But man, that's it, man. We've gone through segments 15 through 11 for this top 20 1980s cartoons featuring anime opening sequences. Again, if you feel so inclined, hit that follow button here on the channel, and if you'd like to, leave a rate this video and comment, and let me know what your thoughts were on my selections from 15 through 11. What do you think was the worst of them or the best of them? And did you watch any of these shows as they aired, or have you seen them in reruns? I'm interested in finding out, and thank you very much for giving me feedback on these videos. They help out a great deal, and that's it for this part 2. When we move on, we're going to be plowing forward. I can't even talk. We'll be plowing forward to part 3, and I hope you guys look forward to that next part. My name is Bro Ryu. Follow me on Twitter at Bro Ryu, and also follow Shin Station on Twitter at Shin Station. In the meantime, I'll see you guys later. Peace.